Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
So today we are going to see other quick find is one of the genes. Similar to that, we have a number of genes here which will give you details of many other items. If you click on a summary, it will give you the list of all the employees with their what labor account they have, what is this username, what is their name, who is their manager, what is their phone number, last totalization, blah blah blah. It's similarly like this we have a number of genes here which will give different column details based on what gene you choose. If somebody has name, a labor account, username, email address, these personality data, if you go to maybe reconcile time card, this will give you name like how much the employee has worked. Since it's a test and prompt, we don't have anything. So the columns will differ for each genes. So if you go to maybe where is accruals, maybe up to 10 cards, this again. It's another gene which will have all the employees and it will show you whether the time card has been approved by the manager or not. If it is approved, it will show one Arctic mark here. Okay, and whether he has any exception in his time card, whether he has any absence on this particular week previously prepared. So these details will be available in this genie. So genies are it will pull the employees with different views. Each genie has a specific approved time card is basically to see whose time card has been approved and whose time card has not been approved. If you go to sign off, this will again give you the same detail but an additional detail. So we know there are two types of approval. Imag do you remember we have two types of approvals. One is approved time card and the second level of time approval is sign off, which will log the time card. Likima, do you remember this? We saw it in our first session. Can you hear me? I don't see him on the call. Okay, he has pinged. He's stating that he can't hear. Give me 2 minutes. So, as I'm taking you through different genies. Genies are nothing. It will give you all the employees' data, like how we saw in the quick find, by searching an employee or searching all the employees similar to who will find. So if you go to quick find in this system, quick find gives you name, ID and labor account. There are other genies available. If you scroll down, there are a number of genies available here. Each genie has a specific details attached to it. If it is a summary, it will give you more of a personality data for all the employees like labor account. What is his username? What is his email address? Who is his manager? Who is the manager assigned to him? Okay, at what homepage? It's like a more of a personality kind of details. Like where he is working, who is his manager, so on. So each genie has a different approach. So if it is a summary, it will give you the personal data. And then there is another genie which is like approval genie, which will give you whose time card is approved and whose time card is not approved. You see here, it will give you. So since it's a test run, we will not be approving anyone's, but just for example, if this is the time period, previous pay period, we have selected all employees. This is again another thing which you need to know. All the Kronos will have this particular item in the place of Hyperfind All Home, which will fetch you all the employees, which is available in the system. This is a complete list. There are other items which will give you a specific group or specific department or specific location, employees that will be created or that will be available by default. But this is a mandatory one, all home, which will give you all the employees available in the system to this particular view. Yeah, so this, if you see, this will give you whether the time card has been approved as blah, blah, blah. And there is another item which is sign off, which will give you one more additional detail stating that whether it is just signed off, like there are two levels of approval. If you remember the first session I have shown you, one is the time card and one is signing off. So this has some additional details. This is where the payroll people will come in and see. Before running their payroll, they will come and see whether all the employees are signed off. They need to go and check each one individually. They can come to this DINI and they can click here. Sort by this column. It will give them the details. So, since this is a test environment, we have not signed up only one people. For testing purposes, we have done it. But in a live environment, before the payroll cutoff time, if a payroll administrator comes and see here, he will see maybe one or two people who are not signed up. Others all will be signed up by their managers. Right? So instead of going to each employee or running a report to see who is signed up and who is not signed up, this is the easiest way to check it out. So that's the purpose of DINI, to ease the use of access. How easily we can see a data or identify an issue based on this DINIs. So DINIs, there are different DINIs, like there are different inbuilt DINIs available, like sign off, there is an approval. Again, this will give you a kind of more overview with manager approval, sign off, and also in this particular paper, does anyone have access? Okay, and does anyone have access? Like if you see this, I have 5 days of access. And whether that access is excused or not. These extra details, DINIs, are basically kind of a data abuse. Each DINI will have different columns and we can select a particular employee group or all employees based on this. Currently, we are going with all home to see all the employees, but there are different hyperfinds. We call this as hyperfinds. All home is a default hyperfind which will fetch you the details of all the employees. Clear on this, what is DINI? Right. How do you go to DINIs from? How do you come up with the tab? Just click on the plus icon and click on management. Okay. So now today, since we have seen what DINIs are, we can go through the system and see what are the available DINIs and what columns they give you. Sometimes 1 or 2 columns might be hidden. You can also enable that here if you want to. Just a few columns, like say in the upvote summary. I just need to see whether the time card is upvoted by manager. Employee signed up an unexcused answer. I don't need a general exception. You can just take it out, it will go off. If there are some dinners, few columns might be by default hidden. If you want to enable it, you can enable it. So that's all about the dinners. How this is set up, we will go through. While we are going through the setup after pay policies and upvotes, I'll give you a quick overview of how this is being processed. But right now we'll see with respect to currently. As I told you, these are hyperfines. We are going with all home and spy selected for all the employees. I'll show you how we create these dinners. Like all home, there are different dinners like these employees. Department 44 Division 322. How we create it and how we add a condition to pick only specific employees. So to create a hyperfine, it is very simple. You are in this page. It can be in any dinner. This or that, whatever it may be. The easiest way to create is you can come here. You can click on new. It will take you to creating a new hyperfine. So I can show you. You just need to come here, click on new. If you want, you can follow up with me. But give a different name in the query. So there will be 3 types of visibilities. One is ad hoc, one is personal and public. Ad hoc means you are going to create a new dinner. It will come one time. When you log off and come back and check it, this will not be available. This is just a one-time purpose. And personal means, if you create it as a personal, it will be visible only to you. When you log in, if you make it as public, whoever logs into this particular system, they will be able to see it. Okay, so now let's use ad hoc. Why do they use ad hoc if it's just for one time? They might have a weird condition to check only these people. In that condition, they may not save it out. They will create it as an ad hoc. I just needed to check how many people are assigned to this particular payroll and has this many absences. That is a one-time request. I need not have that because if I keep on creating hyperfines and like these things, each time I need a request hyperfines will. Maybe it will cross 200, 300 each time if I want to create. So that's why we use ad hoc. Makes sense. Because the performance issues also right. Yeah, if you have too much in the system again, it will slow down. And let's say I'm creating on hyperfine, you're creating on hyperfine. Both are of same use and we are giving different names. It doesn't make any sense. But the data might be saved in the kind of reports. No, ad hoc is like one time it will display you the results. Then once you refresh it, it will go out. If you want to view in the future for reference, then you need to save it as either a personal or public. Okay, now let me show you how to filter by certain condition. So now let me take a condition stating that I need employees. In the system, we have only a few labor levels. So let's say I need employees who work in Australia. Okay, if you see here, there are a number of employees, right, belonging to Australia. you can see the second value in labor account. The second value here corresponds to country. So that is region. I need to see how many employees here belong to Australia. Okay, so I'm going to create a hyperfind. Maybe you can create it as an ad hoc, because I'm going to give a specific name to that. You cannot give the same name to two hyperfinds. If you want, you can create a personal and proceed. Okay. Rather than public. Public means only one can be created with the same name. You can give us a fix and create with the same condition in a person so that for your purpose you can see it. So I'm going to give a hyperfind name as Australian employees. And the description, if I need to say something, I can say I'm going to give the same thing and it's not mandatory. So you can maybe give some suffix to this so that you'll be able to create it. So first thing I need to my condition is I need to see Australian employees and only who are active currently, not who are inactive or terminated or something. So what I will do first thing is I'll go to, there is an option for whatever we saw in the people tab, right? That items will be available here. Like the timekeeper name or ID, person dates, additional information, primary account. Then the user information accruals. These details will be available. So the first thing I'm going to choose is the employment status. So for me, he include people whose status is active, not inactive or terminated as of today. So this is my condition. He should be active as of today. So my condition is clear. I'm going to just click on add so that the condition is added here. So employee is employed and working as of today. Right. Just need to click on add. So it will add you here. So the first condition is met. My second condition is his primary account. Second value should match region Australia. So by that only we are here segregated because second region is region, second primary labor value region. That region should match Australia. So this is a total summary. I'm going to the region. This will pop only once you put a stick and select. It will give you all the items available in that. What I need is just Australia. Right, yeah. I'll just give you like in life and there will be so many details. So in that place you can just click on some words and then select so that it will give you only the items that you need. So I have picked on Australia. Then I need to click on write to the site. Once you drag to the site, then you need to click on add so that primary labor matches star. Second value should be Australia. Other values can be anything fast and other values. First, second, first, third, fourth, sixth, seventh values can be anything. But whoever is having a second value, Australia need to be pulled here. Okay. The conditions right. Does it have to be in order or it could be any order? It can be in any order. I just give you like a proper approach how we create it. It can be in any order. Okay. Like why I'm giving this as a first means if he's not working, whether he belongs to Australia or not, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, even if you give this as first and this is a second, it is not going to change your results. But for a better understanding, I'm taking it sequentially. Right. Again, what I'm going to do is, these are the two conditions currently. So once this is done, I need to see I have the condition. I have selected Australian employees. Then I have given description. I have both the condition as well as I have given name. Only thing I need to do is click on save. Okay. So now we have a hyperfind here, which says Australian employees. And they have only people who belong to Australia as a second value. So this is just not limited to this particular Genie. You can use this to review any of this Genie example. If you want to see approval summary, you can click on approval summary. By default, it will go to all home. But you can select Australian employees so that it will give you only the Australian employees. It's a one-time creation and can be used across all the Genies. This is very useful in the area. We can export these columns whatever is available here. Right? If you want as an Excel, not with this Genie, any Genie. If you want this as an Excel, you can export it. It is very easy. Let's say we are going to export not all the employees, just Australian employees. We need a report which gives us these details. What is this labor account? What is his name? What is his employee group? Whom he is assigned to? These details. What do we see here? You want it as a document format. It is easy. Just click on Select All Rows. Click on Share. I'm going to select the hyperfind which I want, which is Australian employee, and also the time period. If you need it, you can choose a time period so that if you go to previous paper, who was active on previous paper will be available. If someone is terminated in the last week, they will not be available in current paper. If you want them, you can go to previous paper. Right. Okay, so I'm going to the current paper. I'm just selecting all, clicking on Share, Export to Excel or CV. I just export to Excel, so that whatever we see here will be pictured out as an Excel. Okay, currently Excel is not available here. So let me try to open it up. Chrome if possible. We need to ask them for Excel. In this particular, we are in the remote desktop, right? You know, like in ad hoc mode, right? So you said it's for one time. So is it like it would show the results and after you sort of like? Once you close it out or once you change to a different gene, it will go off. That's it, okay. I don't see any application which can open this. Yeah, it's not. It's opening it as a PDF. So let me see if there is any other application. Just ask them that you need this cell to be available in the remote desktop so that we can use it to preview the Excel file. Yeah. Or else we'll be able to use only the PDF items. So let me see. I'll just export to CSV so that we can at least open it up. Not. I'm just opening it as a note. Okay, so this will give you the details of this is a CSV. It will not make any sense to you, but in Excel it will give you the same view of what we had. Okay, in a live scenario. These things happen on a daily basis. You have to export. No, it depends on the project. They will have some reports which will be needed. But in some cases where we need to do some kind of segregation and see who belongs to what, in that case you can export it. One sec. So that is all about this genius. So I'll just give you an activity today to present it tomorrow. Just create a hyperfind with a condition. Let's do this. Hyperfind should be. The applier should be active. applier should be active. The applier should be active. What else I can do? The applier belongs to Adidas company, Australia. So then this hire date is for 2022. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.